Hello, welcome to the Scale Model Club, and on this week's show I shall be staying indoors and building a car. Keep safe everyone. Really great. Right, something new, look. The Lotus Esprit S1. The kit is by Fujimi, if that's how you pronounce it. On the side of the box we have a picture of the car. On the other side of the box we have some suggested paints to use. And to the other side of the box we have another picture of the car itself. And then we've got some pictures of some models made. Don't do cars very often, never have a lot of success with the bodywork, so bought this from Kent Models, as you can see, because you get your nice little, you get a free notepad and a free sheet of paper saying Kent Models. No idea what it's for, not a clue, but still it's cool. And we can dive into the box. I chose this model particularly because I love the Lotus Esprit and I also love James Bond. And James Bond models are quite difficult to find, and strangely enough the number plate in this kit is actually Bond's number plate, but it's not advertised as Bond's car. Oh, free keyring. Everyone loves free stuff. Here we have the decals, they're nicely printed, and the instructions. Now then, the instructions. The instructions are in Japanese, or Chinese, or North Korean, or I don't know, but it's not English. So it's just a little awkward. A little awkward to understand, so we are just going to have to go by the pictures. Also, I've no idea what the paint codes are translated for you. I did try some Google translation, but then gave up because it was far too much effort. So there is lots of information in the instructions about safety and what paints to use, where to use them, how to do the model, how to stay safe, and I couldn't tell you any of it because it's all in Japanese. But let's get into this then. Everything comes in a plastic bag, so it's all nicely safe. There's the decals, as I said before. They are in a really good package and nicely printed, so can't wait to get them on. It's going to look nice by the time I get around to doing that bit. Here's the wheels. The wheels are in that chromed, but I've obviously got to the point where I've put the wheels on the vehicle and I'm going to leave them like that. A lot of people take the chrome off and then paint them in their own chrome colour, but that's not for me. Don't really have the room to do that kind of thing. So here's the bottom of the car. Belly pan, nicely moulded, got the gearbox at the back. Gap for the steering at the front. It's not amazing. It would have been nice to have had an engine to put in there, but I'm not that bothered. Bumper, nicely moulded. In white for some strange reason, because I have a horrible feeling it should be black, but no flash, no problems with anything at all. It's a really nicely made model. So what we've got in this sprue, again it's in a plastic bag for protection. I wish I came with a plastic bag for protection at the moment. Right, okie dokie, so this is the steering. The nice thing is about this kit as well is that the sprues seem to. Now, it might just be me because other companies may do this and I've never really noticed it, but all the suspension stuff is on one sprue, all the front steering stuff is on another sprue, and so on and so on. So it's well thought out. So it's a rear bumper. This also that's the rear bumper, and these are the lights, and so you can actually change the lights. You can either have the lights down, because obviously they're pop-up lights on the Esprit, or you can have them up. I was going to model it with them down, but if you just lay the pieces of plastic in and don't glue them, you can quite happily take the plastics up and then drop in the up lights with them in the up position. More silver. This isn't too bad because what they've actually done is they've created you a little silver piece to put the clear on, so that instead of you having to paint it, it looks like there's a bulb behind the light. So yeah, they do look nice. So this is the interior. Now I was going to make a really big effort and put some flocking down so it looks a little bit more like carpet, but the flocking that I'd ordered didn't arrive in time, and when it did arrive it wasn't quite what I was expecting. So, and I did like this kit and wasn't prepared to muck about with it. So that's the lower dashboard. They're funny old dashboards in the Esprits. They've got like a dashboard that goes across, and then the binnacle is like an extra piece put on the top. That's the interior. Seats, steering wheel, indicators, pedals, all that guff. And then we have the clear parts. I'm going to leave these in the bag because clear parts on cars are very important. The two things you need to not muck up on a car are the wheels and obviously the paintwork of the body and the clear stuff. The clear stuff's quite important. And here we have the bumpers for the front and a few of the lights. They come in black as they're going to be black. I painted mine in a matte black. I'm going to clear coat or gloss coat the body, but I'm going to leave the bumpers matte or a semi-gloss maybe, mainly because that's how the real car was. And here's the big bit, the body. And that's very nicely moulded. Not a problem with it at all. No dents, no dings. There's no mould lines, nothing. It's a really nicely cast piece of model. And having built some of this one, I am more than likely going to get another one. So here we go then. First bit of the instructions are to paint the front suspension, and I'm going to paint those with NATO black, which is what I'm opening here from Tamiya. Can't remember the XF location, but it is a matte black. So give it a good stir, and away we go, painting some springs and some front suspension and some front discs. Let's speed this bit up a bit. silver that I'm using for this is the Vallejo Real Metal Silver metal colour, and it is the aluminium shade. Use this for the tops and the bottoms of the suspensions, and I'll show you something different to make it look like it's metal. If anybody's wondering what's in the pot that I clean my acrylic brushes with, that is screen wash. Right, so coming to the end, that's the black and the silver bits done. I think you'll find that is the disc brakes, front suspension, and the ball joints on the rack and pinion steering, which works, by the way. So that's them done. Now what I want to do is, instead of dry brushing these in a dry brush and silver, whoops, we're going to use this, which is Mig Ammo's. It's a powder gunmetal, it's called. Put it on with a tea, and then so it's a powder. So you put it on and you brush it across, and then what it touches, it sort of turns like a shiny silver, but not really shiny. So it gives it that, just like a little metal looking edge to it. It's brilliant stuff. Really good for weapons, guns, anything metal really. If you're doing a metal, if you use the dark iron colour from Tamiya, then brush that over the top, it looks brilliant. I haven't looked around what that could do with, is that could do with coming in like sort of a slight rust colour, so you get like a rust colour to it, but still being shiny. So I'll leave this at normal speed so you can watch what I'm doing with it. But it's good stuff. It's messy, don't get me wrong. You really, I mean, I haven't there, but you really want to put yourself a towel or a bit of paper down so you can collect up all the powder you've dropped. But it does look nice. It's a shame the camera doesn't pick up. I really must work out how to zoom this thing in, shouldn't I? I don't mean zoom as in moving closer to it. Right, so that is the suspension all done. Blacked, silvered, gunmetaled. Now we're going to mix up some NATO black for the belly pan. Give it a good stir. Put a little bit of thinners in this because it was a new tin, so I topped it up. Give it another good stir. Whack it straight through the airbrush. And like we always say, a couple of light coats rather than one big one. Little test fire, and away we go. Best thing to do when you're painting stuff like this that's got lots of gradients and ups and downs is to do like the wheel arches first, and then do the flat pieces over the top, because otherwise you end up with paint runs. But it covers nicely, look at that, straight over it. nicely done. So that's the belly pan done. Might as well paint all the other black bits if I can find them as well, which is the cover for the steering and the suspension arms. So that's them dried off. And the next thing is to grab a little bit more, is to grab some silver. I put some silver in the airbrush just to go over the bits that I might have got the black on. And also the suspension arms, the wishbones at the back are silver, and the hubs at the back. And that will be the last bits of the suspension built. Or painted, should I say, not built. So that's the silver done, the black done. All we got to do now, I think, is put it together. And that was trickier than I thought. Even though everything sits brilliantly in the hole, every hole, the part that fits into that hole is very snug. I've put the little two front suspensions on there, and now I'm going to use the same silver to paint the rear gearbox. We'll speed this bit up in a minute as well, because this is a bit tedious and everybody knows how to paint with a brush. Couple of light coats, so it looks nice and silvery. So that's coming along nicely. There's the rear gearbox done and the front suspension put in, which moves. And I think the next thing is to put the cover over the top of the front suspension and put all the wishbones in on the back. I suppose a lot of people are wondering why I suddenly changed to having some classical music as my music. It's not because I like classical music, it's because I'm a big fan of 2001. So there we are, one wishbone. These were a little awkward because I couldn't understand the instructions, but once you sort of put stuff together, don't glue it and test fit it, and then you work out how all goes. It's like, oh yeah, that's all. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. There you go. And then you think, yes, that's perfect. So that's one wishbone done. Let's do the other wishbone. Just the rear suspension looking pretty much there. Just a few little bits to finish off and put on. Some kind of torsion bar. That took a bit of fiddling and working out where it should have gone. That's why I speeded it up a bit, because it was like, is it front, back, up, down? But then, as I said, everything fits really nicely. It sort of clicked into its little place. It was like, oh, that's where it goes. That's why it's off camera, because I needed to bring it closer to my face. Boom, there we are. I left the exhaust a silver too. Just because I'm not quite sure how you actually get the silver off. I think it's bleach, you put it in and then repaint it, but I didn't want to run the risk of ruining it, so I thought, no, I'll just leave it silver. I'm hoping to get the car to look newish. I don't want to put rust on it, or I don't want to put dirt or anything on it, although I may probably use some panel line washes, which might leave a bit of a shadow, but it'll still look basically new, like he's driven it down the road. Cut this away. This is also quite nicely thought out, is that you can do almost everything with that while still being attached to the sprue, so you get something to hold all the time. That's the front balance, needs to stay white. We'll paint that when it's on. What we got next? I think is it the wheels, or can't remember myself. Touched in a few bits of silver. Right, now this is Streak and Grime from AK, because I wanted to give it a wash over. Now, I'm not 100% that I liked the finished product. I should have really done it all with black, because then it just gives it a cleanish but real look. But it's okay, it's not too bad. You don't see much of the underneath of the car anyway, so it didn't come out too bad after giving it a wash with that and then giving it a wipe over with some cotton buds. So thanks everybody for watching, thanks everybody for subscribing and pushing the notification button. I hope everybody's staying safe in this horrible, boring lockdown that we're all stuck in, and come back next time for when we're going to be doing the interior and bits of the body. So just give that a clean up with the cotton bud. So you just wipe bits of it off so it looks silvery in places and dark in others. Few touch-ups in the black. So thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you tick the subscribe if you're a new person, and stay safe everybody, and I will see you next time on the Scale Model Club.